Well, a very good afternoon to you, Stephen. Well, the latest is that the proceedings are now well underway again with Justice Dunstan Mlambo, of course, continuing with his interview before the Judicial Services Commission. And, of course, I'm joined by Mbekezeli Benjamin, who's been watching the processes from Judges Matter. Mbekezeli Benjamin, one of the issues that was just spoken about between the guest and Stephen is the issue of transformation. But the issue of transformation also speaks key to the issue of access to justice, even in areas that are far remote. This would also mean that the judiciary will have to be capacitated. Justice Mlambo was touching on that, saying that capacity is one of the key issues that he would want to see tackled. What can you tell us about that?
Well, Justice Mlambo, I think, showed off in those questions when he spoke about capacity, because you'll remember that in the past, both Limpopo and Mpumalanga didn't really have high courts in those provinces, and he was instrumental in having those high courts set up. People from Limpopo, for example, had to travel all the way to Pretoria for their cases to be heard, and so that's one issue of access to justice that he touched on. Another one is he spoke about his time as the chairperson of Legal Aid for 17 years, and during that time they were able to sort of advance that organization to make sure that they put women in important positions, but also to expand legal services by making sure that the lawyers appointed there were in permanent contracts, and that they introduce technology to ensure that the cases are dealt with efficiently. So on access to justice issues, I think he excelled above the candidates, two previous candidates, that is.
So, Mr. Benjamin, another issue that he spoke about was on the issue of credentials. We see some of the commissioners asking him about his, if you would, struggle credentials. He was very frank, saying that he necessarily didn't participate in the front line of the struggle, but that transformation and what the principles of transforming South Africa are still very top of mind for him.
Yes, so he did acknowledge that he didn't participate in the struggle, but he said he was a public interest and trade union lawyer. That was his contribution. But he highlighted that the biggest contribution was when he came onto the bench. He made an example that in Gauteng, when he came on as judge president, there were only 15 women judges, and right now there are about half of those judges, half of the judges in Gauteng, that is 38 out of 79 judges, are women. So he says his contribution has been in that respect. And
that certainly would speak to why you were so hurt when you, as he put it, when of course there was that talk about the allegations of sexually being inappropriate with a colleague that he didn't know about. He spoke very passionately about that, and that would be something that goes against his track record, wouldn't it?
Well, it certainly would go against his track record, and he did acknowledge that there have been rumors circulating about misconduct of a sexual nature. He says that he's tried, and I think many of the commissioners, including the Speaker and Mr. Mpofu, tried to push and ask what has he done to address those concerns, and he says, I've tried all I could, but without a formal complaint and a complainant, I can't attend to those questions. He did seem to be at pains about that.